Hey, 412 Sports Cards here today, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Pop Report and why it matters a lot less than you think it does, or at least why you should be looking at it with kind of a different lens to get the most out of it. We're talking about PSA Pop Reports for the sake of simplicity, and we're going to start off with just a quick preface. The Pop Report really does matter, okay? It is very, very, very important. Not going to understate that. It matters a ton that you've got 13,000 of these Luka base Prism PSA 10s and only about 2,000 LeBron Topps Chrome PSA 10s. That matters a ton. And the Pop Report does do some things well. Notably, it's good at informing you the premium you should be paying for, like, say, a 10 over a 9. I think the gem rate is huge. It really does matter. Not every card should have the same premium of a 10 over a 9 price-wise. It should vary depending upon the gem rate, and I think that knowing the gem rate and knowing like which 10s are really, really rare really is good for the long-term investor, because I think that scarcity long run will kind of should outperform the less scarce cards. But yeah, I mean, just for like pricing of 10s to 9s, like these, there are 13,000 10s and I think like 8,000 9s, so I mean, it's not insane gem rate, but I mean, it's pretty high still when you compare it, especially to something like this. It's more 10s than 9s when you compare to something like this this Pujols Topps Chrome Traded, which has like 600 9s and like 300 10s. So it's a really hard 10, and that information is what helps sets the market. It shows you the premium you should be paying for a 10 over a 9, but we all knew that. That's nothing new to any of you guys. So I just want to get into where the Pop Report can be misleading, and this is, I hope, going to be just some really valuable nuggets of information for you guys. I've thought about this a lot this week. So this is the big idea, this is the big takeaway, so pay attention to this, is that the listed population of a card is not exactly equivalent to the amount of that card that's accessible on the open market. And for the open market, I'm just going to be talking about eBay probably, just because it's the easiest place to find stuff. But like, sounds pretty common sense, but it's important to note that some cards are going to have varying percentages of their pop on the market at any time. And this is kind of my thesis about this, is that larger name players are going to have like smaller percentages of their pop come out for sale on eBay because they have a larger collector base and a larger long-term investor base who aren't going to be putting those cards up for sale. I think a great example of this is the Jordan Fleer rookie. It's really high pop, not scarce at all, but they can be quite scarce on eBay, especially if we get into high condition. So like even a PSA 9 has 2,700 copies in condition, which or in the PSA Pop Report in PSA 9 condition. 2,700 is a ton of copies. You think about it, you think about this card, this Bowman LeBron 9, maybe like, I don't know, like 700 or something, but there are tons more of those that show up than those Jordans. And LeBron even is a huge name, but I think Jordan is just the best example of this. They don't come on the market much because he has so many long-term investors and collectors who are not selling those cards frequently. They're just holding them. So they're hard to find on eBay. And I think that if you just looked at that pop of 2,700, you could be like, oh, well, it's not that rare. But in reality, it kind of is that rare because they're harder to come by. And they're very hard to find, just on, especially like something like up for auction on eBay. I think this underscores a huge point, something that gets brought up, a decent amount in the hobby, is that the health and like strength of like some of these card prices really does revolve around having a strong end collector and like long-term investor base that's not just these flippers. So essentially what these guys are doing who are collecting or holding for decades is that they're taking the cards out of circulation. They're not showing up on eBay anymore because they're just going to go sit in their house or they're safe or something, and they're being taken out of the like float, as you would call it, in a stock market, essentially referring to the shares that are out in the open market or the cards that are out on the open market. And I think that does a lot for prices that the Pop Report might not necessarily reflect. So I guess this is just getting into some big picture takeaways out of this philosophy, is that although the modern pops are very high, I think that with Luka in particular, it shouldn't really scare you that much. Even Luka over someone like Ja, who has yet to cement himself like thoroughly in his second year and demand a strong collector following. And even Tatum is nowhere near as rock solid as Luka. My thesis is that what this means is that because these guys have, like Tatum and Ja, have less long-term collectors, long-term investors than Luka does, I would anticipate that more people are going to be selling their stakes in Ja and Tatum on short-run performance, which I would expect to produce more volatility. Now, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, Luka cards have tanked like this. The base Prism is down like almost 50% this year, or off the peak, which is absurd, by the way. Can we take a moment to appreciate that like a 50% drop in a card in an asset is nuts, especially over like a month, especially when something that was people considered safe. But anyways, I digress. I think that what we've seen with Luka's market right now is kind of an anomaly. I mean, market got so hot, and I think that that's just some coming down from an insane run. But I think long term it makes sense, right? Like, if you have more people, a higher percentage of Tatum and Ja investors aren't in it for the long run, if things start looking not that good, just a little bit of a slump, they're going to be selling, and a higher percentage of Tatum and Ja's cards are going to come up for sale, and especially in a slumping period for them, that flooding of the market could really depress prices. I think that matters a lot, and I think that the other side of the coin is kind of that if you can get your hands on cards that don't pop up much on eBay. Sadly, I don't have mine with me right now, but like the Bowman Chrome version of this card is an excellent example. So if you can get your hands on stuff like that, even this isn't bad. Like this pops maybe like 800 or something. I don't know. But the Chrome is just nicer. But the pop doesn't even need to be insanely low, and I think there's a lot of chance to profit off of low supply and a sudden spike in demand, kind of like a short squeeze type thing. I mean, obviously, I know it's not the same. But if there are people who want it and not much on the market, I think you can probably grab a premium. For example, thinking about stuff like, if I was in the market for a Jordan Fleer PSA 9 and one came on the market at an auction or that I thought was close to a reasonable price, if I'm in the market for a card like that, that's even though it has a pop of 2,700, that can be very hard to come by at a reasonable price on eBay compared to a lot of higher pop, compared to even stuff with like a lower pop. Like I think honestly these are easier to track down than those Jordan Fleers. I'm going to be willing to pay a premium, and I think that as someone who's a card investor yourself, I think securing those types of cards, you can really kind of leverage, the scarcity of your card, which is, it's even more scarce than the pop report suggests. And I think that might be, you can leverage that power to kind of get a premium on your cards when you go to sell them. Anyways, this was kind of just my quick run through on why the pop report, I think that like the percentage of, their cards that are on the market matters a lot more. And I think that it's going to affect volatility and it's going to affect prices. It kind of underscores, like I said earlier, just want to reiterate this, it underscores the importance of having long-term investors and collectors who take cards off the market, because it helps boost prices and it keeps them higher, and it helps, I think, decrease volatility. So let me know if you guys agree with this. I hope this was clear. Really passionate about this, and I thought this was a huge video I wanted to get out to you guys. But if you liked it, please drop a like and subscribe to me. I like to put out this content every week, and I really get encouraged by when all the likes start rolling in on my new videos. I literally check it every hour, like the YouTube studio updates on it. So I get excited over stuff like that, and I really do appreciate it, and it makes a difference. And any suggestions for future videos, just hit me up, let me know. And I'll catch you next time.